So it comes to limitations when we're actually having limitation on what we're actually trying to create. There's also from past experiences as a child or a teenager, or what we've actually gone through as far as memories of excitement and unexcitement, I guess you could call it. G'day, Nano, how are you? Great to have you on the call. Thanks for being here. Grateful to have you here. You're welcome to throw in the chat where you're from if you'd like to. Yeah, so today's preview event, we're going to talk a little bit about my journey, a little bit with a slideshow. Then we're going to go into some education of what the success is all about. It's just not personal, it's just structure. And then we're going to do a superconscious recode, which is really powerful. We're going to actually remove some resistance from your unconscious that's actually in your way. Awesome, from Spain, love it. What's the time there at the moment? It's still Sunday, no doubt.
9:30 p.m.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Excellent. Lovely. So what I'll do is I'll just, if anyone else pops in, we'll certainly allow them in. We'll just make a start here. So I'll just share my screen. So creating from your inner power. So our own inner power is our own intuition. It's our genius. It's who we are from the inside. So in this work, we don't need to give advice or tell people what we think they need to do or give expressions of how they need to make choices in their life. We get them to come from their own inner power, to create from your own inner power, from your intuition, from your genius. And it's really powerful when we do that, because we're doing that, we're in the right structure of our desired reality rather than our current reality, which is focusing on the problems. So you're not broken, there's nothing wrong with us. We're simply focusing on the wrong structure if we are in that tendency, in that reality of thinking that we are broken. How to remove unwanted feelings and emotions that don't serve you, which is really cool. And we can do this by using our superconscious, a field of information, go into unconscious and remove that. So my goal today is to show you by removing resistance with the Superconscious Recode and working from the right structure, you can become a powerful superconscious creator and live a life that you love. Today's sessions, if you want to become a 6 or 7 figure influencer, do what you love, become a public speaker, create video content for your business, want better health and more energy, stronger relationships with friends and family, more wealth, no debt, less discomfort and frustration, and more confidence, the freedom to be, do, and have anything that you choose. I appreciate that you're here, and I'm very grateful that you're here, and thank you for being here. I'll certainly not waste your time. I'll give you actual steps at the end if you choose it, if you'd like to do more of the work. And I'll stay around and answer some questions if you have them. And like I mentioned, grateful that you're here. To get the most of this training is please turn off your phone and be present. Take loads of notes if you choose. Take action after the call, and these actionable steps will come through you once we do the process. Focus on that true end result and play full out. What we will cover today, education on how your consciousness works. When we actually understand, especially with our unconscious, it's not there to cause us grief. It's actually there to give us longevity, long quality of life. We can actually work with it and understand it to actually know who we are and what we are. Structure-wise, success is not personal. Structure is all about being the current reality and desired reality, and I'll draw that up on the chart shortly. When we're in the right structure, we can have more of what we want, like the law of attraction. When we're in the wrong structure, we simply get more of what we don't want. And also how the Superconscious Recode, Rapid Recode works to remove resistance and beliefs that don't serve you. Because of this program, I've been lucky enough to create my own coaching company, build a successful global business, feature in podcasts and host live virtual events, become one of over 700 certified coaches teaching this method, and live a life of freedom, doing what matters the most, my true nature and purpose, which is the work that I do here. I absolutely love it. So here's been what have been my creations in the last 12 months, some beautiful family, doing some traveling, and also a live event that I did and doing my podcast. So the live event I did a Superconscious Recode and a live event which I recorded, which I could never have done before, excuse me, before doing this work, because I simply had too much anxiety, body sweats and fear and all the rest of it, which I've been able to remove doing all this work, and I'm able to come to you here today and share that with you. So it wasn't always that way. I was a husband and a father who was losing interest in the personal development business that I owned. I wanted to help people. I struggled to get past my own feelings of not being good enough, and the big one, not belonging. I felt like I wanted more out of life, but I was stuck in my own skin. I was trying to make it work. I created my own healing and transformation program. I studied and learned many different modalities and enrolled in many different programs, seminars, and courses over a period of 5 years. I came across an advert on Facebook with a man called Christopher Duncan. I attended his live event. And this was the key, this was the answer that I was looking for. how to actually remove emotions and feelings that don't serve you, so you no longer have them in a quick and fast way. And it literally does take 5 to 10 minutes doing these processes. And that was the piece that I was missing in my transformation and my journey to being able to create the online products and courses that I wanted to. So I spent $20,000, completed a 6-month study, and got certified in this awesome one-of-a-kind revolutionary process. It's the only modality on the planet that actually teaches you to focus on the end result, stepping into it, which allows our unconscious to see the resistance that's in our way. And that's so powerful, because when we're going for what we want, that's when the resistance will pop up into our field. But if we're not going for what we want, we can't actually see that resistance. And I'll cover that obviously later in the call. I started my own coaching business. Transform Your Life Within was created. I launched my website. There's a picture of my event, obviously. Created my own programs. I've got some really cool programs here. A couple of them are the 5-day courses, Become a Powerful Speaker, and removing resistance to creating video content or doing lives online. Everything that stops us from doing public speaking or going on live is all just fear-based. And we're able to now remove all that with this new modality, so we can just go and do it. And it's actually really, really easy once we've done the programs to actually make content and public speak, etc. Here have been some of my results. Here's Charlie. Charlie suffered from anxiety, a lot of self-limiting beliefs, and couldn't really be in public at all. He'd certainly, if he went into a restaurant, he'd only be in there half an hour and he'd break out in body sweats and actually have to leave. So he had massive wins. He's now online, creating a life that he loves and doing all sorts of cool things. Same with Renee. She had a blocked throat chakra, so we actually unblocked that to enable her to go out and public speak as well, which is something she's very passionate about and very good at, which is really cool. So there's 6 main sabotaging beliefs that really get in our way. I'm not good enough is very, very common. I'm not worthy. I don't belong, which was my big one. I'm not perfect, not capable, and insignificant. So we may have a little bit of all of these, or we may very well stand out with 1 or 2 of them as stronger than the others. Certainly if we have the not good enough, we're always trying to be good enough, always going out in the world to be good enough, to help people, to do people, to help them become successful, and do things for them to create success so we can feel like we're good enough. When we're not worthy, we're simply out there trying to do things to feel worthy. We're always trying to help and source ourselves to create a worthiness in society. That don't belong, we're always trying to create communities and environments where we can step into to have that sense of belonging. And when we do that, we simply step into a lot of anxiety. When we're not perfect, we find we're trying to create a perfect life. So our house will be perfect, everything will be tidy, our relationship is going to be perfect. And when we're in the perfect structure, we're simply not creating a lot outside our environment. But I'm not capable, we're continuously doing programs or courses to try and do things to make ourselves feel like we are capable. And then we'll end up starting these programs or courses, getting so far into it, and then just stopping because we just feel like we're not capable, we can't finish it. And I'm significant. Quite often the 3rd child in a family has a lot of insignificance. They just don't feel like they're significant in society. So in this work, we have, when we the first part of this work, we step into 4 orientational choices. We have our own true choices, which we get into further down the track. But to start with, we have our orientational choices. These 4, if we live these 4, these are just being life always. They'll show up initially, they'll show up a lot of resistance, even to living a life, choosing to live a life we love. You know, why if we're not doing that, what's in the way? We can remove that. Health and vitality, if you're not having 100% health, what's in the way? We can remove that also so you are healthy. True nature and purpose, what's our dharma, why we're here? Same scenario. And choosing the predominant creative force, just taking action just because we love it. So it's really, really important that we're having our true nature and purpose, which is why we're here and we're choosing it and we're creating it, that we have lots of energy and action around that. It's our predominant creative force. So the journey to superconscious living, this is a bit of William Whitecloud's work. And it's really, really powerful because the journey to actually superconscious living is when we're born having it all. And it's only through our own limitations as a baby at taking our first human breath once we're born that we put limitations on ourselves. And how we do that is because when we work out we're an individual between the age of 2 and 4, we put a lot of limitations on ourselves because we're young, we're a baby, and we can't actually achieve a lot because everything has to be done for us. So, for example, you know, if we're 2-year-old and mum drops us off at daycare centre or preschool because she has to go to work to earn money, we might put up a sabotaging belief that we're just not good enough. Well, why ask mum drop me off here? I don't understand. Why am I getting dropped off here and mummy's leaving me? Maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not worthy. So we all put up different beliefs on our journey. And the first 4 years is the most important with children because that's when they're taking it all on. That's when they're actually finding their true identity, their true selves for their creation, to plan out the rest of the process, the rest of their life. Also, between the age of 4 and 8, when they're forming a conscious, which is a thought pattern, thinking pattern, they're taking on a lot of limitation there as well, because they're actually starting to think about things. So the first 7 years are most important for us to grow up, to take on our limitations and our choices, and basically create everything that we want in life. We generally go back to those first experiences. There may be that as a wee 5-year-old, we're in school and everyone in the class has to draw a picture of what we did that weekend and show it in front of the class and talk to the other kids. We might find as we're going up there to show our picture, like the other kids have, that we trip over and we fall, and the whole class laughs at us. So it would be very, very in discomfort and very embarrassing to have that whole class laugh at us. So we'll put up a belief that getting in front of people and talking is not good. So for that day on, for the rest of our lives, every time we want to get up in front and talk in front of a group, we're going to get anxiety and the sweats, because our unconscious doesn't want us to go into that discomfort again from that little 5-year-old. It's reliving that same experience. So if you're a 25-year-old and you're wanting to be a presenter or have a talk on stage about your product or be a sales team manager or whatever, you're going to have this resistance. And until we remove the emotion and feelings off that, or we push through it and do it a whole heap of times and reteach our unconscious that talking in front of people is okay, we'll simply have that anxiety and body sweats, etc., self-limiting beliefs. So in this work, what we do is we actually choose a true goal, what we want to create. We can choose one of those 4 orientational: choosing a life we love, health and vitality, predominant creative force, or true nature. We can choose one of those 4, or we can choose something else. We might want to choose be the best dad I can, be the best partner I can, be the best mum, whatever it may be, the online business. It doesn't really matter, but we get to choose whatever you want to work on. And the best choice to choose in this work, a true goal, is something that you have struggled to take action towards creating. So if there's something out there you've always wanted to do, but there's too much resistance, that's a really good choice to take. So we choose that end goal. We close our eyes and we step into the emotional feeling of what it's like creating it. Now, the reason why we do closed eye is because our conscious can't see anything. So then we're not taking in 20 million points of information, and we're simply in our unconscious. So when we visualize in our mind the picture of what we want to create, our unconscious believes that it's true. So then it puts all the resistance up, and that's when we can remove it by stepping into your field once you give me permission, and I simply use my intuition to do that. We then come back to the current reality. What's it like now? And our unconscious can see we don't have that yet. What's it like now? There's a big gap between achieving that, and then we unplug and recode that resistance that's in the way, the sabotaging beliefs, the fears, whatever it might be. And then we must, after each of these calls, after these recodes, is we must take action towards that choice, that true goal that we chose, that desired reality. We must take action towards that and teach that unconscious that we want it. Cool. So do we draw the chart here for us? So our current reality, this is us, say for example, this is us here now. Our current reality. If we have a desired reality or a true goal or a choice that we want to create, and say, for example, it's more love, money, health, relationships, online business, whatever it may be, if our desired reality is more and we're wanting to create this and we're going for it, and this is more and we don't have it yet, then this must be less. Now, this is a structure why success is just structure, it's not personal. If we fail in life, it's not our fault, it's just the fact that we're in the wrong structure. And we don't get taught this. We get taught to be in our current reality and trying to fix ourselves. Now, we're not broken, there's nothing wrong with us. We're just focusing on our current reality rather than focusing on what we want to create. So say, for example, if we want to create more money, we want to have more wealth, if that's more, then over here must be less. As I mentioned, so we might have scarcity. We might be broke. If we want more love, over here we might be lonely. If we want to have a business, over here we might have a job we don't like. Whatever it may be, if this is the current reality, which is less, and that is more, then we have 2 different structures. Now, it's when we're going for what we want to create it here in our desired reality, that's when our unconscious throws up the resistance Like I mentioned before, the 6 sabotaging beliefs: not good enough, not capable, not worthy. It might throw up some fear. What if you fail? What will the family think? It might throw up some success around the fear of being successful. What will people judge you if you're being successful? You've never been successful before. Whatever it may be, the unconscious throws all this resistance up here. Now, a beautiful society and the way they've been taught and educated is we're taught that if we have any of these issues, that we must go and fix ourselves. So we might come down here to try and fix ourselves. And to do that, we might do a course, do a program. We might get some therapy, might see a psychologist. We might just read a really good book on how it all works, so we can actually have some wins, so we can actually have what we want. While we're down here trying to fix ourselves, we're actually giving our current identity in here more of, yes, you're broken, you do need to fix yourself. So when we're down here, our current identity, which is less, trying to fix ourselves because we think that we're broken, we're actually having more of what we don't want. And what happens then is we'll shoot up here, we'll have some wins, we'll do some programs, some courses, we'll learn some stuff, and we'll have some wins, we'll have some positive feelings and emotions within our current reality. And then we'll go for what we want to get, our desired reality, and then some other emotions and feelings will pop up in our field. We'll come down here, we'll do another program, do some more therapy, etc. Then we'll come back up here and we'll go for it again, going for what we want in our desired reality. And then some more resistance will pop up in our field. Oh, you can do that next week, start that next week, whatever it may be. Now, when we're simply going around in here, doing the loop, we're not creating what we love. We're not creating what we want. And that's the powerful thing about this work, is we don't need to focus on our current reality. We always focus on our desired reality. And through these processes, and there's over 10 that I'm certified in, we remove all the resistance. So just being it before you see it, just stepping into this is a lot easier, and we can just create it. Now, the benefits around that, removing all this resistance, is you no longer have the little monkey chatter every day getting inside your head, stopping you from taking action. Now, that monkey chatter is created from our unconscious in our current identity. And the reason why it throws everything up into our field, so we don't have this over here, because it believes, its current identity believes, that to create a new identity over here, to have all that, the old identity has to die. And identities do not like dying. And that's the key, is the identity is trying to keep you alive in the old structure, because that's what it's used to, and that's where it's been in a survival mechanism. And what I mean by that is we have our conscious in here, which is all about thought. It's all about ego. It's all about everything we think about when we have a thought process. We then have our unconscious or subconscious, whatever you want to call it. Our unconscious is all about survival, keeping you alive, keeping things the same, keeping you safe. So the identity down here in your unconscious and your current reality is trying to keep things the same, continuously keeping you safe, because it doesn't know if it goes over here if you're going to survive, because you haven't created this yet. Now, you can push through all this and create some awesome, big, magnificent things. We see that in some very powerful people in the world, like Michael Jackson, huge talent, created some massive true choices. He did that, but he pulled all this through in his end result with him. And we can see that because he had a lot mentally going on. He wasn't exactly happy within himself. We can certainly see with a lot of the other greats, Donald Trump, Lady Gaga, a lot of the other greats in the world, they still create some awesome things, but they just take all this through here with them. And this work, we don't have to. We can still create it and have it. We just remove all the stuff that's not serving us. And how we do that is by using the superconscious, which is like our field of information around our unconscious and our conscious. What we do is we have, this is me here, and this is you. These smiley faces. We have the field of information around us. That's what we look like. It's who we are. It's everything about us, our eye color. It's past our memories, looks, everything from our parents. It's everything about us as memories. Everything in the past about us is simply just memories. And those memories are stored in our bodies and in our field. So what we basically do is you give me permission to access the superconscious, and I go up into the field, and then I get a hold of metaphors, I ask a whole lot of questions, I get a yes in my heart and no in my gut. And I ask a whole lot of questions, and then I simply ask that superconscious to go into the unconscious and remove what's in the way. And it simply does, and it knows English because we speak English, so it just follows the patterns. Because your superconscious, the field of information, doesn't know the difference between right or wrong. It's just like a hard drive. It's just information. But it wants to give you the best information so you can have the best life. But it can't do that without instructions. So everything that we've created so far in our life, we've created in our mind first, we've visualized, we've taken action, we've created. Everything we haven't created yet. We need the information to create anything that we choose from the past and the future. So as a metaphor would be like wanting to climb a tree. So we see that tree, we start climbing it, our conscious is like, yeah, let's climb the tree, let's get up there and get the best view. And then our unconscious jumps in and goes, stop, what are you doing? You're too high. If you're so high, if you fall out of this tree, you could die. You could hurt yourself because it's all about survival. It's all about feeling. So then we've now got the conscious and unconscious not getting along. One wants to have the quality and go to the top of the view. The other one wants to protect you so you don't fall out and die. Then we have the superconscious. It is telling us which tree to climb, how to climb the tree, which tree's got the best view, what time of day to climb the tree. That's all the information that we need to climb the tree. So that's pretty much in a nutshell how our consciousness works from a basic level. We need the information, we need to have longevity, we need to survive, and we need to have fun. That's how our consciousness plans out. When we have traumatic experiences in here from the past as a child, that memory could have pain attached to it. And say, for example, this is a neuron, we have hundreds of millions of them in our head, our heart, and our gut. If we have a memory in our neuron and it's got pain attached to it, every time we go to do something and our brain gets activated and remembers that traumatic experience, and we don't even remember it sometimes ourselves, it brings that memory into our active experience, it lightens up the neurons, and we remember the pain. So then our unconscious goes into fight or flight, quick run. Or we might all of a sudden go, I was so happy, now I'm grumpy, I don't know what came over me. And that's simply that, the memory with the traumatic experience coming in. When we do the superconscious recode, we're simply disconnecting, and the feeling and the emotion of that memory leaves our body, it's gone, and then that neuron becomes wisdom. It then serves us because it doesn't have that attachment of the pain to it anymore. So very, very cool process. And the beautiful thing about it is in this work is we get the results when we do these processes very quickly, and the wins are straight away. So once we've done this work for 3 to 6 months and gone through and created everything we love in here, our 4 orientational, all our true choices, everything we want to create, we no longer have resistance to anything anymore. So you can come from a very place of peace and joy and just comfort, just knowing that you can create anything you want and you don't have that resistance. So it's really, really powerful. And then once you've been doing this work, it takes 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year, depending how much you're doing it. You never need anything else. You'll never need any other books, therapy, programs of anything, because you've removed all this and you're creating anything that you choose. Now, the law of attraction, as I mentioned earlier on, is a very powerful thing, but only if you're in the right structure. If we're in our current reality, we're just going to get more of what we don't want. So if we're in a current reality here, which, say, for example, is stuck, we're simply stuck. We can't figure out what we want to do. There's too much resistance. We're having negative thoughts all the time. There's too much resistance holding us back. We're simply stuck. We don't have our true nature and purpose, so we don't have health, whatever it may be. When we're over at our desired reality and we have it all, it's what we call flowing. We're just flowing. Everything's falling into place. Everything we create is just there for us. The universe is supplying everything we need. Or we might be in the middle. We were isolating. When we're isolating, we're having a little bit of success, going for what we want, and then it's pulling us back. Having a little bit of success, and then, oh, I'm not good enough, you're not capable. Having a bit of success, creating a website or whatever, or getting better than getting sick. Now, the reason why you're isolating is because there's too much resistance, keeps pulling you back from your old identity, your current one. Because this one over here, you're trying to create it, and then this one has more power. Now, what we actually have to need to do is when we step into desired reality and we remove this resistance, and this happens over the 4 to 6 week period, Mark, this identity ends up becoming the new identity. And it actually experiences the desired reality going, actually, I quite like it here. This is okay. I'm not going to die. I'm having more fun. I'm having more freedom. I'm having more of what I want. So then the new identity is your desired reality. And that's the shift that you need to get into. And it does take time. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen if we work at it. Because any habit takes 4 to 6 weeks for our unconscious to experience it for that matter of time, to go, oh, I haven't died, because I'm all about survival. It feels really good. I like this new identity. I like this new habit. So then I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to stop throwing up resistance. And if we can think about anything that we've done in the past that we haven't liked, and we've done it, and we did it, felt good, but there was a lot of resistance, we pushed through it. Once we've done that for 4 to 6 weeks, the resistance starts to fall right down because the unconscious knows that you're not going to die. And that's the job of the unconscious, is to keep us in longevity, have us the longest of life as possible. It's designed to heal us, to keep us alive, keep things the same, because that's how we were designed naturally when we lived in the jungles. We had to know about what the snakes were, the tigers were, the poisonous fruit were. We had to remember all the stuff for survival, because it wants to keep us alive for as long as possible so we can have more children and keep the generations of our children alive. So it's very, very powerful when you think about the unconscious. It's actually there to serve us. If we didn't have that, we'd always be wanting to remember how to drive a car or how to eat. We'd always have to be teaching ourselves continuously a new way of being. So in this work, we simply step into our desired reality, which is the same as that 5-step slide. Then we look at what it's like now, not having it. Then we notice the resistance in the middle. We do the Superconscious Recode, where you give me permission to access your superconscious. Then we give it instructions in here to remove that. And then we take action on whatever this is to you. Taking action in your desired reality. Any questions out there at all? Any questions, Nana? You're all good?
Yeah, just one question, just to be sure that I got it correctly.
Yes.
The superconscious would be the mind that knows everything, so that we need to connect. Am I right?
Information-wise, yes. Yeah, definitely, yes. And the mind that knows everything can also sometimes step into our thought process, our consciousness, or ego. I know everything. So when we want to know something, we're actually in dysfunction over here. But the information, which I think the question you're asking, the information that comes through is from our intuition, our genius, and we just allow that information. So yes, it's that information that comes through. Yeah, and when we
that's where we can step in when we want to create something that we haven't had any experience in the past, so we don't have any memory.
Yes,
we need to step in the superconscious to create something.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And we'll do a process. I'm going to do the recode. I'll actually connect the source, and I'll actually do it for you. I'll show you how to connect to your intuition, and you can then ask any question you want, and the information comes through. Because the intuition muscle has been part of our brain. Because when hundreds of years ago, we always used them. Everything was intuitive. You know, we're all entrepreneurs. We're bread makers, shoemakers, housemakers. We're kids, and everything played together. Everything was safe, and it was more of an environment where we just lived in that. Whereas now, today's society, going for the education system, obviously it teaches us, you know, it molds us in a way to be factory workers, to be managers, to be workers, to create what the earth, the planet, and the leaders think we need. But we can actually still use that intuition, step into it and recreate it, use that muscle, strengthen it, and then live life in intuition. And that's certainly, 4 years ago, I hardly ever really thought of life intuitively. I do it all the time now, but yes, definitely 4 years ago, it was a real struggle. Because our information, we can actually, you can choose something, like make a choice now, choose something that you want to create, and just close your eyes. When we close our eyes, remember all our thought process, our perception, everything's left at the door. Close your eyes and think of something you want to create. Think of something you'd love to have. Just think of what that may be and visualize it. You can then ask your unconscious, whatever that may be, just visualize it, step into that end result of having it. You can then ask your unconscious, what's the next steps to having that, to be one step closer to having what I want, just because I love it. What is my next steps? Unconscious. Allow it to come through. What is my intuitive next steps? And you just ask it, and then open up your eyes, and you'll see that information came through, what the next steps are to create it. So the more we use that muscle in that process and develop it and get used to it and get stronger, the more the information comes through. And sometimes if we're stuck in the current reality and we just can't take any action because there's too much pain, we're completely shut off to intuitively because we're stuck in the dysfunction. We're so stuck in all the what we don't want, we can't actually allow ourselves to be intuitive. So when we start stepping towards this and using our intuition, going through this process, is where all the magic happens. Cool. So what would you like to choose today? Pick a true choice. If you want to, we can go back to one of those 4 orientationals if we want to. I can share my screen. One of those 4 if you want to. I choose the life I love. I choose health and vitality. I choose my true nature and purpose. Or I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. You can choose one of those and pick one that's got most resistance to you. Or if you want to, if you're watching this recording, for everybody that's watching it, you can choose something else. If you've done a bit of this work before, you can choose another true choice that you want to.
Is it the most resistant, not the most?
The hardest.
Attraction, the hardest. That would be number 2.
Number 2. Okay. Excellent. Cool. I choose health and vitality. Great choice. So I choose health and vitality. So what we'll do now is we'll just get in, we'll do the closed eye process where we step into that desired reality. And we'll allow you to see for yourself all the resistance that comes up. And then we'll step into our current reality, and then we'll have a bit of a chat and we can unpack it for you. So just close your eyes and step into that true choice, whatever it is for you. In this case, I know it's health and vitality. And just choose health and vitality. Just notice what you're doing and how it is. Gaining control of your body. You get to choose what you eat, what you drink, what exercise you take. Reconnect with that creative power, your inner power to create the body that you love. Just notice the clean water that we're drinking, the healthy foods, whether it's organics, vegetables and fruit, the exercise, whether it's biking or running or swimming or yoga or sports, getting all that exercise and just knowing that you're healthy. Just choose it. I choose health and vitality. And just notice how good it feels knowing that you have 100% health and vitality. You might be running down the beach or climbing a mountain, cooking a beautiful home-cooked meal, being around friends and family and laughing at a barbecue or a meal just because you're totally healthy and vital. And just notice how beautiful and good it feels being in that true end result. Times the emotions and feelings by 10, times them by 20. It's having this beautiful health and vitality. And then open up your eyes. So we can see there, by visualizing and being in that true end result, we can actually experience exactly what we want to create in our desired reality. And the unconscious believes all that to be true while our eyes are closed, because like I mentioned before, there's no perception, there's no thought processes coming in. We're simply in our unconscious, in our mind, creating what it is that we love in our desired reality. Then now with our eyes open, we can come back into now to our current reality. So what's it actually like now, not having all that yet? Just think about that now. What's it like now? Are we giving exercise, consuming the right foods, thinking in a positive manner towards health and vitality, taking action around it? And by doing that, we can then come up with a number process. By stepping into our current reality, if this, say, for example, having 100% health and vitality was number 1, just having it all is easy, I have it all now, number 1, and being here stuck is number 10, What number in between do you think you are from having it all? So 1 is I'm just flowing down the river, having it all with health and vitality. It's easy. I'm 100% there, healthy. 10 is I'm not healthy. I've got lots of things going on that I need to clear before I can actually have 100% health. So just pick that number between 1 and 10, whatever it is for you.
5 moving.
Oh, cool, excellent. And there's nothing. This numbered process has nothing to do with the actual processes, the recode. It's just for our conscious, our ego, our thought process to see the shift afterwards. So getting back to our current reality, what's it like now? So then I want you to sit here thinking about the current reality, looking towards your desired reality of having that 100% health, and notice what's in the way. So then close your eyes and ask your unconscious what's in the way. What resistance is there? Is it not good enough, not capable, not worthy? Is it the fear of starting something new? What beliefs are in the way? What emotions are in the way? What thoughts are in the way to be having 100% health and vitality, or whatever it is that you choose if you're watching the recording? Just notice it. Notice what's in the way. And then open up your eyes so we can see that and hear what's in the way. Everything that's in our way is just emotions and feelings attached to the old memories. Because if we think about anything from the past, say for example, I can talk now and take a breath and breathe it out, that's now in the past. Everything else in the past, that breath is now just a memory. So everything in the past is just memories, and they have positive feelings and emotions or negative emotions and feelings attached to every single memory. So we might have, if we're a parent, we might be able to have a memory of when we had our first, second, third baby, or whichever, or when we got married, or whatever it may be, and how much excitement and joy that brings. Or when we're younger, when we got our first job or bought our first car, we'd have that excitement around that memory. But then we have all these other memories that don't serve us. And they're the ones that get in our way, and they're the ones we're going to work on today to remove as a bigger chunk as we're allowed to through your unconscious. Because it's your unconscious today that's going through this process, and this process is very new to our unconscious, and it takes a little while for our old identity to go, well, actually, I quite like this. I will allow to have more of this work. It takes because it has to go through the feeling of allowing that it's okay. Yeah, your superconscious loves it because it just loves giving the information. The conscious loves it because you notice the results straight away. It's pretty cool. So to use a metaphor, if we use a metaphor like a sports field, we're standing at one end of the sports field and we're looking down the grass to the other goal, which is our desired reality. And we're standing down here looking at it. We may be halfway in the field. And we're just looking at the beautiful grass. We just got grass growing. We just have to get that ball into the goal. And then all of a sudden we notice a whole lot of gophers have dug holes in the field and made mounds of dirt. So it's very hard for us to get down the rest of the field. The Superconscious Recode basically will go along and smooth and fill in all those holes and smooth it over with a feather, so we then have our field back so we can simply just kick the ball into the goal. That's a metaphor for your unconscious. Our conscious loves metaphors. It loves pictures. That's what it's designed to do. That's why it loves the closed eye, because it can create everything that it wants to, which is your mind creating it, which is really cool. So let's do the Superconscious Recode. Have anyone else got any questions there at all? Have you known any questions? We just want to jump right into it. Sweet. Excellent. Rightio, let's go. So what we're going to do now is we'll just close the eye, we'll step into the desired reality. I'll give it lots of our senses around it. We're going to see it, feel it, breathe it, touch it. Then we'll just give me permission to access your superconscious, and then we'll do the recode, which is completely natural. And also just to let our unconscious know that no parts of us die in this process. All we're doing is removing emotions and feelings off past memories that don't serve us. The memory stays the same, and we still have full 100% remembrance of that memory. We're just removing what doesn't serve us. So step into that beautiful desired reality, that choice that you've chosen today. In this case, we're just going to choose health and vitality. Step into that beautiful desired reality where you were before. Just choose it. I choose the end result of. I have it all. Notice where you are. Notice what you're doing. Notice who's with you. Notice everything around you. Smell the smells. Touch what you can see. Have laughter and smiling and giggling, whatever you choose. Just notice what's around you. And just set the intention to get the most out of this process. I choose to get the most out of this beautiful process. And times of beautiful emotions and feelings of that desired reality times 100. Beautiful smile on your face, just knowing that you've created it 100%. And Superconscious, I want you to create the perfect treatment plan, please. So then just say it out loud, or will it in your heart that you give me permission to access your Superconscious. Superconscious, you can see this beautiful end result that we've chosen today. I choose health and vitality. Just choose it. I am it. Being it before we can see it. That's it. And stepping into this beautiful end result, Superconscious, please create the perfect treatment plan and bring all the resistance into the field, please, that's in the way of creating health and vitality. And please treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Please treat all sabotaging beliefs, not good enough, not capable, not worthy, don't belong, insignificant. Treat them all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. That's it. And we may experience going through this process, we get some twitches or notice some movement in the body or some energy flow. That's completely natural. It's just the emotions and feelings leaving our body, and it can be stored anywhere in our body. So Superconscious, please treat all alignment with desire. Please, and do a massive change history. Please treat all definitions. Please treat all part personalities. Please treat the inner child, the broken-hearted, the protector controller. Please treat all part personalities in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Superconscious, please treat all events from the past to this true choice I've chosen of health and vitality. All events, please, past, present, and future, please. Treat them all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. History, please. Please treat all emotions from the past, present, and future too, please. Sometimes we can have emotions that are going to be attached to future events that stops us from taking action. Please treat all that in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Superconscious, please treat all body systems, heart flow, muscle groups, shoulders, neck, back, ankles, knees, all body organs, skin, all blood flow, please. Please treat all body systems in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Please treat all family history. 9 generations on my father's side and 7 generations on my mother's side, please. Please treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Please treat all broken agreements and broken promises from the past, please. Please treat any lack of confidence, any fear, judgment, lack of confidence, into a massive change history. Thank you. And just choose it. I choose this desired reality. Notice everything around you in this beautiful desired reality, having it all. Superconscious, please treat that little child that was ridiculed when they were young about doing what we please, doing our own creations as being a child, having fun, being creative. Please treat it into a massive change history. Thank you. And Superconscious, I want you to now just noticing where you're sitting in the room or wherever it is for you. I want you to go outside your body, looking down at where you're sitting. And I want you now to look down your timeline. Down your timeline, and I want you to go back to the very first event. The very first event when you put limitations on health and vitality. And you don't have to be able to remember that event, you just have to know where it is. And now looking at this old current event of limitations, I want you to create a new one. Create a new event just before the old one, which is more positive, more happy, and is all about beautiful health and vitality, having fun. It serves you. And I want you to push this new event down into your timeline. Push it all the way down in there, creating this beautiful new event. That's it. Push it in there. This fun, happy, positive event. And because of this new event, I want you to now notice that the old event, the original event, has now changed. And all the other events along your timeline have also changed. I want you to grow up now, come back towards now on your timeline, noticing all the other events that have changed because of this beautiful new one you've created. And come all the way along your timeline, come all the way back to now, and come back down into your body, and now look to the future and notice how things are different because of this new beautiful event that you created. Superconscious, please install these beautiful new ways of being into a massive change history. Thank you. And now what I'd like you to do is to create this ball of energy just above your head, like it can be the size of a golf ball or an apple, soccer ball. It doesn't matter, you can make the whole thing up. Just create this ball of energy just above your head. And have this ball of energy a couple of inches from your head. And have it shooting a beam of energy from that ball all the way up through the ceiling or the roof of the house, out into the sky, through the clouds, out into the atmosphere, the space, and send this beam of energy from the ball all the way up through past the stars, through the galaxies, all the way to the beautiful white light. And just notice that beautiful white light and connect the beam of energy to it. And as it connects, have the beautiful white energy pouring down the beam and coming all the way back down the beam and filling up the ball of energy above my head. And now noticing this beautiful white energy is filling up the ball above my head, and it's just glowing white. And now connect this ball of energy with a beam of white energy down towards the top of your head. That's it. So the white energy is pouring down from above into the ball and now down and filling up the top of your head and going down through your body. And create like a wave of this white energy going down through your body. Down through the head, the shoulders, body, arms, fingers, down through the legs, ankles, feet, and out through the toes. And just notice the whole body is filling up with this beautiful white energy. Pour it into your back, behind the head, behind the back, legs, fingers, elbows. Make sure the white energy is everywhere within your body. That's it. And this beautiful white energy is love and gratitude. It's the highest healing frequency we can have. And Superconscious, can you now please treat all resistance in all chakras, please, to this true choice, health and vitality, or whatever it is for you. Please treat lower chakra, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, heart chakra, the throat chakra. Please treat the upper chakras, the crown chakra. Please treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. And I want you to pour this beautiful white energy into all chakras, into their beautiful natural color. Red, blue, green, orange, purple. And I want you to have this, all chakras spinning front and back, outside and inside our bodies, just like they were when we were born as a 3-month-old baby, please. As we're that little baby and our chakras are growing and spinning. Please treat all resistance in all chakras, please. And pouring this beautiful white energy into all chakras, removing all the dark energy and all resistance that does not serve us. That's it. Activate all chakras, please, front and back. Subconscious, please treat all lack of trust, diabetes, indigestion. Please treat all resistance to this beautiful choice of health and vitality. Treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Please treat all resistance in our throat chakra so we're able to express ourselves and be in public and talk about what we love. Please treat it and do a massive change history. And also reconnection of our upper chakras, third eye and crown chakra, to allow our intuitive thoughts to come through, please. Please treat all resistance to our upper chakras and do a massive change history. Thank you. And just notice a beautiful white energy in our body now with all our chakras activated. How much more energy we have now. And as we're connected to source, you can ask your intuition any question you like about what is the next actions for me to take, and allow the information to come through to have more of what I'm choosing today, more of my desired reality. What are my next actions? And experience taking these actions as this beautiful white energy is still pouring into our bodies and pushing out all dark energy that doesn't serve us. Superconscious, there's quite a chunk of resistance in the legs. Can you please remove that, please? Please treat it in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Thank you. Superconscious, please ground all the memories we've touched today and reconnect everything back in the matrix of the universe, including memories 1, 2, and 3. And just to allow our bodies just to step into the actionable state of taking the next action to my desired reality, the choice that I've chosen today. Allow the information to come through in a beautiful, beautiful high energy state. The excitement, just the knowing that I can do it. I'm just going to do a quick sentence procedure here. I want you to tag and treat anything that's not true and change it so it is true. I love my desired reality. I am my desired reality. Being the desired reality is easy for me. Please do a massive change history. Thank you. Please ground the memories we've touched today, the conscious memories, 1, 2, and 3, conscious, unconscious, and superconscious. All tandem memories, past memories, future memories. Seal all memories in the matrix of the universe. Thank you. And just take a big breath. And just think of those actions that we're going to take. The actions we're going to take to have more of what we choose. Step into the feeling of experiencing them. And then when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. Take a big breath. Twiddle your toes. Shake your hands and fingers around. Excellent. So that is what we call the Superconscious Recode. And we certainly may have noticed it's different for everybody, but some people can feel, like I sometimes feel a rush of energy as it's removing, especially in the first 6 months of doing this work. Other times you might get twitches. I certainly got a lot of twitches in my head when I first started doing the work also, which made me feel a lot younger because I wasn't holding on to this dark energy anymore. So my wrinkles were less. Not frowning all the time, I'm laughing. Yes, excellent. So, any questions there? Do you want to jump in? Want to jump out and share your wins or anything? Go for it.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
How did you experience it? Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Probably because I come from my own personal learning and training and this and that. I already recognize my limiting things and I'm over them. So I can point at that and I recognize it as limiting. So I say, okay, let's go back.
Oh, good.
And
cool.
yeah. And I also recognize the ones that I cannot overcome yet, which is believing that the time I spend exercising, I'm not working.
Right. Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
That's why it's like I should go and exercise a little, but then I'm not working, and I should be working because I have a business running and blah blah blah. So that's my obstacle today.
Yes.
Right?
Excellent. Good. Awesome.
So when I started with the relaxation and imagining, okay, then the first question is, okay, don't spend much time, just 10 minutes. Start with 10 minutes. Why not? And that was a relief.
Yeah.
The big obstacle became, okay, if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's you're not wasting it. I got that intuition immediately.
Yeah. Excellent. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, because in that structure, the unconscious identity believes that it has to work all the time. And to have this over here, like you say, it throws up here. Oh no, you have to work, so it pulls you back down here. So you're just going round and round and round. So the new identity is 10 minutes. I'm going to do exercise. Just start with 10 minutes. Once you've done that for
exactly.
4 to 6 weeks, the unconscious and the survival feels this, because it's all about feeling as well. Feels this new identity is, yeah, I like exercise and this is good. So then it's easier. Yeah.
And I think that's the reason in my case is the moment you really believe that the desired reality can happen.
Yes. Yeah.
You look for ways, not for obstacles. You look for ways to achieve it.
Yes.
So the first, but what's foundational for me is believing and living and imagining and feeling the desired reality, because then I'll find a way.
Yes.
A way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Cool. Excellent. And if you think about your number system here now, you were a 5 of resistance. What number do you think you are now?
Well, let's say I am an old man, so I would like to see results. So let's move it to the 4.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Now I have intention.
Yes.
Okay, which is good. I have a positive intention, which is good.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. So with our 1 to 10 structure, when we're sitting on 5, we're kind of obviously in the middle. But we're at a 5, you're kind of like, you can take action, but you can't. You can, but you can't. You kind of want to, but you don't. Anywhere between 1 and 4, it's actually easy to take the action. But if you're like a 6 or a 10, you're stuck. No, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
No, in terms of health, I'm fine. I take care of myself mostly, but I smoke and I don't do exercise. But I eat well. I take care of that. I don't drink, and I don't eat bad things. So I take care of it. We follow the Mediterranean diet, which is of it, so to speak.
Nice.
But the exercise side,
Yeah. Awesome. You can use this work to give up smoking if you choose it as well. It's quite powerful.
that would be if the moment I choose that, yes.
Yes, once you've chosen it, yeah. Once you make that decision. Yes. I must choose it.
Exactly.
Excellent. Oh, I'll just share some slides with you if that's okay. I'll just finish off the process here, and in case there's some more, if you would like to do some more of this work, you're welcome to. I can give you an offer. Would it be okay if I showed you how we can work together? Oh,
Yeah, okay, let's see.
Sure. Okay, so the changes are instant. So you notice there we had a shift, and you can see the results, especially with intuitive there. But for total transformation, it takes time. My experience, it took me 6 to 12 months to remove everything I did. I went through the masterclass and the certification process and everything. It didn't have a one-on-one coach. The one-on-one coaching is obviously the fastest way to do it. But it just takes that period of time to remove a lot of those unwanted beliefs on all our true choices, all our desired relatives, so you can have flowing and have everything that you want. I'm going the wrong way here. The big problem is we're giving our power away to think what we need to create instead of what we'd love to create. This is being in the wrong structure, as I've talked about. Focus on trying to fix yourself when you're not broken and not living in your true purpose. The solution is you obviously need a coach or a platform that guides you to removing the problems that's in your way so you can have more of what you love. Going from focusing on what you do want rather than what you don't want. First step is to create our true choices. So we've seen that we had our 4 orientational. We then work on our true choices, which here's my true choices here. I choose the end result, being the best dad I can be, a very profitable inner power certification. So I choose all those things and I work on them towards them every day and do the processes to remove the resistance. So the Superconscious Recode we just did there is a very fast way to move the resistance, but there's other processes. So it's kind of like walking to the shop. We can run to the shop, or we can just casually walk to the shop, or we can just stroll to the shop. There's different ways, but the results are all the same. We remove it. And our unconscious loves experiencing different ways to have a better feeling, because that's the end result, is we always feel better. So the outcomes are you're creating more of a life you love, health and vitality, finding your true nature and purpose, creating abundance, activating your inner power. You may be thinking you don't have enough time, or you're not good enough, or not capable, or you have to work all the time, don't have enough money, or it's not the right time. So what I'm happy to offer you, if you'd like to take it up, is a private coaching session where it's just us two one-on-one, and we can actually choose on something exactly you'd like to work on. It can be business related, work related, whatever you choose. So if you'd like to take up that offer, my lovely wife and PA Kirst will be putting that link in the chat. And this takes about an hour, and we can actually really then focus on exactly what you want to create, something you've got a lot of resistance to. And there might be some ideas popping up in your mind as to what that can be. So we've got two choices, obviously. We can do absolutely nothing and just keep more of the same, or you can come work with me. The number one reason people don't get started is they think it's not the right timing, or they'll try and do it yourself. The biggest mistake is it's never the right time. We always just must take action, which is exactly the process. Just take the actionable steps in the recodes. The truth is, if you don't pay for it now, you'll pay for it in many ways later. And what if all this did was remove one thing that was causing you pain from traumatic experiences, or stopping the pain, having the pain to stopping you taking action on what you love? And what if it could be being more happy, more feeling fulfilled, creating a life that you love, and having more abundance? And the truth is, like I mentioned, if you don't pay for it now, you'll pay for it later. So you must make your mind up. You can only have the results if you believe it's possible. You limit yourself based on what you think is possible. If we don't do change, the past is safer. It becomes staying as the spud. Excellent. Awesome. So if you'd like to come, would you like to come have another session there, Nano?
I would like to try myself first. I know that this is not what you recommend, but being me a coach myself.
Yeah, sure. There's
I never, let's say I never like when I ask a client, what have you tried after we go through the problems? What have you tried? And if the client says nothing, then I say, okay, I will give you homework for a month.
Yes.
And then after that's right, then we can work together. I prefer not to take clients with no failure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the beautiful thing about obviously you doing what you're doing is you can see their faults, you can see in them what their faults are, and you can,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So,
and that's
so
why,
I can see my limiting belief is working against me
yeah,
when I try,
yeah,
right? Because now it's more imagining what is going to happen,
mm,
but I know that it is different to experience it. I
mm,
say, okay, now I see what is stopping me.
yeah, and that's why we all need coaches, eh? Because we need to see what's in the way, we need to see our dysfunction, we need to see our blind spot. Mm,
Exactly. Not imagine or not anticipate, but really going through and finding the obstacle. Because
yeah,
maybe I imagine some obstacles and I will find others.
yeah, yeah, awesome.
This I have seen that with other people.
Yeah, excellent, cool. Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And
I thank you for taking the effort. I thank you for taking the effort. Right?
Hey, you're welcome. Always love to serve. And for anyone watching the recording, there'll be a link somewhere in this recording in the Facebook page or in this email where you can come along and make contact and enjoy a one-on-one if you choose. So take care and thanks very much and have a fantastic evening, day, wherever you are. Okay, see you now. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.